In June 2023, the quiet coastal town of Newhaven in East Sussex, UK, was shaken by the brutal murders of a young couple, Josh and Chloe Bashford. Just hours later, a man walked into Brighton police station and uttered the chilling words, "I've just killed 2 people." Those words marked the beginning of one of the most shocking family murder cases the UK has seen in years. This is the story of Derek Martin, his stepdaughter Chloe Bashford, her husband Josh, and the unimaginable events that unfolded that day. By all accounts, 33-year-old Josh and 30-year-old Chloe Bashford were a happy couple with 4 kids. The oldest at the time was just 15, and the youngest was only 4 years old. They were described by family and friends as a funny, loving pair, completely devoted to their kids and to each other. So when news of their deaths broke, the community was left in disbelief, desperate to understand what on earth could have led to such unimaginable violence. That answer laid with 67-year-old Derek Martin. He wasn't a stranger to the family. In fact, he'd once been part of it. Derek was previously married to Chloe's mum, Elaine Sturgis, long before Chloe was even born. Even after their divorce, he remained close to Chloe, eventually meeting her husband Josh, visiting their home, and spending time with their children. She even referred to him affectionately as her stepdad. But behind the friendly facade, things weren't quite as simple as they appeared. Elaine later described Derek to be like Jekyll and Hyde with his severe mood swings, and even Chloe's children, who viewed Derek as a granddad, noticed his short temper. The eldest described Derek as easy to be around, but he could easily switch up. On the morning of the 9th of June 2023, the Bashfords went about their day as usual. Josh left for work and the children were dropped off at school. And later that morning, Chloe met Derek at a Costa Coffee, where the two sat down for breakfast before heading back to her home on Lewes Road in Newhaven. It's here that Derek did the unthinkable. While cleaning a window, Derek claims to have just lost it. At around 12:15 that afternoon, he grabbed a hammer and struck Chloe on the top of the head. He then retrieved a large knife from the kitchen and stabbed Chloe 8 times in the back and abdomen. It was revealed that this attack had been so violent, 2 of the wounds penetrated 20 centimetres or 8 inches. These injuries were so severe, they tragically resulted in Chloe's death. Josh then arrived home from work only 5 minutes after his wife's murder. Upon entering his home, Josh noticed Derek waiting with a knife in his hand. Understandably in shock and likely terrified, Josh ran upstairs to his and Chloe's bedroom in an attempt to escape, but Derek chased him and continued his brutal attack. He stabbed Josh 4 times before strangling him with a rope or a belt. But what he did after the murders makes this case even more disturbing. He removed the door handles from the bedrooms where the bodies of Chloe and Josh laid, so their children wouldn't discover their parents' bodies if they returned home. He also removed his clothes and removed the doorbell camera, all details that proved important later in the investigation. Derek later collected Josh and Chloe's children from school, and CCTV showed him taking them to Costa and then to McDonald's. He appeared calm and acting as though nothing had even happened. Imagine, the man that had just murdered their parents sat across from them while they're completely unaware. He told the children that their parents had had an argument at home, and later told police he wanted things to remain as normal as possible for them, as they meant the world to him. I mean, what a completely stupid comment, having just murdered both of their parents. After this, Derek discarded Chloe's phone and took the children to Elaine's home in Brighton, who, if you remember, was his ex-wife or Chloe's mum. He then bought some beers and drank them on Brighton's seafront. During this time, he sent a couple of text messages, one of which read, "Elaine, I'm so sorry. I can't believe what I've done. I know everyone hates me anyway, especially the boys. I hate myself anyway, and please, please look after the children really well." He also sent another insisting not to take the children home. Just before 7 p.m. that same day, around 7 hours after the murders, he calmly handed himself into police, where he confessed, "I've just killed 2 people."
What's happened today?
Killed 2 people.
You've killed 2 people, okay. Do you suffer with any mental health? Can I just ask quickly?
A bit.
Sorry? A bit. What's that?
Anxiety and depression.
Okay. You got anything on you currently, apart from all that property? You got anything in your pockets? Do you mind just pulling out your pockets for me? What's that from?
Knife.
A knife? Have you got a knife on you? No. Right. So, do you want to stand up for us? The time is now 7:12, okay? You're under arrest on the suspicion of murder ×2. You don't have to say anything, however, may harm defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later align in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. The reason for this is that you've stated you've murdered 2 people. Officers have attended your address and have found 2 bodies, okay? Necessity is for your arrest for a prompt and effective investigation via means of special warnings and a recorded interview, okay, and to prevent any further harm and your loss. You understand all that? Okay.
When questioned why he committed the murders, he responded, "I don't know, I'd just had enough. It's just constant money, 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 go out, go out, go out." He claimed he couldn't remember the argument that broke out between him and Chloe word for word, but recalled it along the lines of him saying, "You fucking promised me, I want my fucking money." He alleges she responded, "Well, don't bother with us anymore, don't bother coming round anymore," and recalls losing it after this remark, as he had done a load of work for them. He recalled feeling used. Allegedly, Chloe owed Derek some money, which she was paying back on a monthly basis. Reports differ though regarding the amount that she owed, so it's unclear what the true amount was. But Derek was also in a lot of debt himself at the time, due to gambling. Again, the definite amount isn't clear, but reports range from between £8,000 to £11,000. Psychiatrists determined Derek's childhood was very violent, from which he suffered with depression for decades. He was taken into care where he was abused, and from here spent a life in and out of prison for stealing. He told officers he'd not been taking his antidepressant medication for roughly 6 months prior to this attack, as he thought it wasn't working. So officials felt it was best for Derek to be analysed by a psychiatrist. He was evaluated by 5 different psychiatrists, all of which concluded he did have a depressive disorder at the time of the murders. But they disputed about the severity and whether it reduced his culpability for the killings. Only one determined it did have an impact towards the murders, whereas another remarked that Derek's depression is self-reported. They had said someone can say they're depressed, it doesn't mean they are. But prosecutors focused on his calculating behaviour, hiding evidence, removing the door handles and the doorbell camera, and changing his clothes before confessing at the station. Actions that they said showed clear understanding of what he had done. While in custody, he wrote a note to officers stating where he had discarded Chloe's phone, telling them that they would find it in the bushes outside Sainsbury's in Newhaven. At trial, Derek admitted to killing Josh and Chloe, but he denied murder on the grounds of diminished responsibility, resulting from a depressive disorder. After a long and painful wait, with a trial date being delayed multiple times, the families finally received the justice they were longing for on the 24th of October 2025. The jury weren't convinced by Derek's defence that decades of mental health issues contributed to his behaviour that day. They believed he was in control of his actions, and after 6 hours of deliberating, found him guilty of the murders of both Josh and Chloe Bashford. On the 6th of November 2025, 67-year-old Derek Martin received the sentence of life in prison with a minimum term of 29 years, giving the family reassurance that he's likely never getting out. Josh and Chloe's eldest son, now 18, has said, "It's completely torn us apart. I have nightmares and constant flashbacks to that day. There's not a day goes by that I do not think about them. Holidays, birthdays and Christmas are now painful reminders of what was taken from us. I know that pain will never fade. It has shattered an entire family. We will always remember them. I will never forgive him. None of us will. They were the best parents a family could wish for, and we miss them every day." Elaine has said, "He had a temper, but I never thought he was capable of doing anything like this. I would never have let him near Chloe and Josh if I thought it was like this. This case just reminds us how thin the line can be between normal life and something unthinkable. A family breakfast, a small argument, and within hours, lives were destroyed forever. Derek Martin wasn't a stranger. He wasn't even an intruder. He was like family, and yet something inside him just snapped that day. He crossed a line that he could never come back from. But at the heart of this story are two people who should still be here today. Chloe Bashford was just 30 years old, a loving mum of 4, and described by her family as gentle, funny, and full of warmth. She adored her children, and she trusted the man who would one day take everything from them. Josh Bashford was 33 and a devoted husband and father. Friends say he worked hard, loved his kids fiercely, and was happiest when he was home with his family. Together, they built a life full of laughter and love, and together, they were taken in the most brutal, senseless way imaginable. Their 4 children now grow up without the parents who meant everything to them, but they'll always carry their memory.